Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Breakfast with Beverly. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. If this is not your first time to my channel, welcome back. So, the topic of the day. Let me just tell you guys. So, I have been struggling a little bit with relationships. With my relationship. And so, he and I, we've just been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But one of the things that I generally don't do is pass my number out to, I guess, just anyone. Like, I really have to be in the market for, I guess, dating or for something to possibly lead to a relationship. And so for the past couple of weeks, I've really been thinking about the idea of just meeting people and dating and just getting to know people and being friends and things like that. Because I've always been kind of closed off. Like, I would meet people, but I wouldn't exchange numbers with them. It would just sort of be, if I meet you, wherever I meet you, then hopefully I'll run into you again there. And we can sort of develop a friendship based on our common interests. And then I'll just leave it there. Generally, because I've always had someone that I was dealing with, somewhat like a relationship. And so now I'm getting to the point where I'm wanting to be open to just meeting people. And the reason for that is because I want to be more comfortable with establishing boundaries. So, in a relationship, not in a relationship, if I meet people and we become friends, there's always like this flirting or these invitations and things like that. And depending on the individual and our place of meeting, sometimes those things get laughed off. Or just, you just kind of ignore them. I mean, you don't take the person seriously or whatever. And so I have always been uncomfortable, I think, with giving out my number, because to me it feels like if I meet you and then I give you my number, that means that I'm open for whatever may come after that. So I typically try to refrain from giving my number out. But more recently, I've been really open to just meeting people and sort of entertaining the idea of giving my number out, because I want to be able to develop a comfort level of establishing a friendship and leaving it there. Like, I can meet you and I can give you my number and we can become friends or acquaintances and even date if we decide to, without the stress of turning this thing into a relationship, or thinking in terms of a future relationship. And I've never been comfortable with that. So this weekend, while I was here, I actually met 4 guys that I gave my number. Now, we're in Atlantic City. And, these guys, they live, everywhere. I mean, different places. One guy's from New York. One guy is actually from here. One of the other guys, I think, was here on a business trip And he didn't actually say where he was from. He did say he wasn't from here though. He was here for they're having a conference downstairs. I think like a 4-day training or something. I actually met a white guy. He was really nice. And our meeting was really funny because he told me this joke. We were in the elevator and he was like, what do you call 2 potatoes? What do you call 2 potatoes in New York City? And I may be telling this all wrong. What do you call a potato from New York City? And I was like, what, a hot potato? He was like, no, Idaho. I was like, what? I don't know. Like, I guess he's saying like, you know, there's a lot of hoes in New York City. I don't know. I thought it was funny. And so we kind of laughed about it. And then he went on to talk about how the training was just killing him because he's a late sleeper. And it's been really tough getting up at like 6 in the morning to head to these trainings. So, so that was actually really nice. He was actually an older gentleman, so he seemed really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, so, and then I met this guy who is like a weirdo. His name is Sean. And, you know, I was walking. I was coming from getting my breakfast. And I was walking. And I saw him, you know, he was walking towards me. And he was just like, oh, my God. And when I walked past him, he just followed me. He just followed me. And I saw him follow me because, you know, you can see out of your peripherals or whatever. I saw him following, and then he stood behind the wall, and he was just like, and so when I turned around, I guess, you know, maybe he thought that was his invitation to say something to me, but he was just like, you know, can I have a moment of your time? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. I think I'm in love. Oh my God, you know, like, and then he asked me if I was staying here, and he wanted to know my name. And so I told him my name. And it was really funny because he didn't give me his name. So I asked him his name, and he said his name was Sean. And then the very next sentence was, we can smoke. And I'm thinking like, oh, they call you Smoke? Is that your nickname? And he was like, no. I was saying, if you smoke, we can smoke. Sean, get away from me. So I took that as like, okay, this is not somebody that I want to get to know and will definitely not be giving my number to. It was just so weird. I mean, it was really, really weird. And so, that was just so weird. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, let me just exit stage right. But anyway, so I guess my question for you guys is, what would be your dating advice? Like, how do you guys meet people, and what are your boundaries? Like, you know, are you dating when you exchange numbers with someone? Are you open to it, you know, developing into whatever it's going to develop into? Or do you meet people and you're able to decide when you meet someone that this person is just going to be a friend? I don't know how it works. I usually just let things take its course. Generally, I've never had a one-night stand ever. I mean, I've tried like meeting someone and just hanging out and you know, not expecting anything and then having it to end. all of my relationships, when I've met someone and I've given them my phone number, it was a relationship. Like we're talking 2 years, 5 years, 16 years, 20 years, whatever. So I don't know, but I would be interested in hearing from you guys and knowing what you guys do in these situations. How do you date? How do you meet people? And what boxes do you put them in? Well, that's my 10 minutes. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy visiting with me today. And before I go, to give you guys something positive, stay away from the weirdos. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Anywhere you go, give it all.